So I thought I'd make a start on taking this bloody heap of crap apart, see what's going on with it. I've got head gasket coming and valve stem seals, exhaust seals, which I noticed the exhaust is actually leaking out of the muffler box when all that smoke I showed yesterday was coming out. So I'm gonna have to have a look at that. Hopefully it's just a matter of welding it up, or I'll go and get another muffler knocked up or something. But yeah, this seems to be one thing after another. Look at the oil in that. It's just black, hey? It's just burning oil. It's just hard to see. I'm hoping it's just a valve stem seal, but probably won't be. I've actually got to take a fair bit of stuff off this. So yeah, I'll get into it. I don't know if you can hear that bloody dog yapping. He can't bark, he yaps. It's just, it gets pretty tiring at times listening to that shit. So I'll go shut him up and I'll get a bit of this shit off and yeah, go from there. Yeah, so they reckon the cylinder bore was scored from lack of service. And I've always serviced it every 25 hours. New air filter every 25 hours, and then usually every 2 hours of work it's done, 3 hours or so. Like, I've always had to come up and blow the air filter out. Like, it's the shittiest intake system you'll ever see. You know, when you got fine dust, it's literally sucking up the silt and that from where the where the blades are throwing it up. And when you look at something like a zero turn, how they've got that proper Donaldson setup, they could have quite easily done something like that. Even if they had to offset the engine an inch or two to get a canister in. Instead they went with this, yeah. Might have worked, if you have perfectly green lawns without a speck of dust floating around, it's probably 99% of the time fine. But as soon as you get a bit of dust or silt, like here in Australia, just that fine silt, it, like within, I think I only mowed for maybe 2 hours yesterday. Within 2 hours, that air filter was clogged up, and I only cleaned it out not long ago. Like, and it hasn't done any work for at least 2 months since the wet season sort of dropped off. So it's just, I don't know. Like 20 years ago, Cub Cadets here in Australia were brilliant machines. Like, It's just like everything else, it's just all made in China, and there's just no sense of pride in making anything, and it's the way of the world, unfortunately. I think we had one, well, Victor's come back, so some Aussie millionaires bought Victor back from Briggs and Stratton, I think. So they're being made in Australia again, but we had the likes of Greenfield mowers. That was built for Australian conditions. The design had not changed in very little in like 40 years. Like, they were just such a good machine. But now they're being made in China, for the same price. So you're getting Chinese quality for Australian dollars. It's just becoming harder and harder to adjust. Like, we don't manufacture shit here in Australia anymore. But the only thing we make is Bushmaster armoured vehicles. That's about the only thing we make here anymore. Can't even make a car anymore because every factory's closed. It's just disposable society, I guess. But you come to a point like where I am now, where it's just, you spend more and more trying to keep something alive, and then you just go, top of what it cost. Like, this was $4,000 when I bought it. Like I was saying yesterday, for an extra, I don't know, 4 grand, 6 grand, I could have got a subcompact tractor, even though it was, they had hours on it, but they were serviced non-stop. Like, when I looked at some of the service records, I'm like, you can't beat it. Like, serviced on the dot, repairs made, So, and then the best thing about that is, like, you're paying less than what you would new, because a 23 John Deere is probably about 30 grand here in Australia, and they were doing second-hand ones for 10 grand with all the implements and stuff thrown in. So you would have had any warranty recalls done, stuff like that. It's had already been done. But anyway, here's what it is. Work, what's the saying? You fuck with the dick you're being given. Give that a tap off. Hopefully it just comes straight off. Yep. As you can see, you can see a lot of carbon build up. A lot of carbon build up, especially on that intake. I'm gonna guess the smaller one's the intake. Yeah, smaller one is the intake. Looks like you must punch the pivot bars out. That's one part done. this oil is just so black, and I've only serviced it not that bloody long ago. Well, I'll spin this over and we'll have a look. Bottom center, I think. Let me just grab the phone off the tripod. I don't know if you can see that, but there is. Let me find a smaller torch. Hopefully it shows up on camera, but you can see a bit of a skull there, but you can't actually feel it. A little bit top. I can't actually see. There's a bit of a line there, but I can't feel it with a fingernail. I'll just hop off and have another good look and get back to you. So there's no scratches up on the top of the ball or anywhere else. It's just this little bit here, that line going down. You can just sort of feel it on your nail, but I can't see that would be allowing that much oil to be, you know, being burnt off. So I've got a cylinder hone here, hopefully it's the right size. I might give it a bit of a hone, see what happens, but I don't think it's that. I can't see it being that. It just doesn't make sense. It's like, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why they reckon that little tiny skull that you can just barely feel with your fingernail would be allowing that much oil to be burnt off. Like I don't see how that's possible. Yeah, I'll might give that a touch up with the hone if it's the right size. I don't think that's the issue though. And if it was the oil control ring, you know, I don't know if these have it or not, but you'd see a lot more issues, like there'd be a lot more scoring, that sort of stuff, you know, unless it's stuck shut, which is possible, but it's only got 160 odd hours on it. I can't see it being possible, and the oil's always been changed. It's always lived in the shed, so there's no water ingress or anything. So yeah, I will give it a hone and we'll see what happens. If this works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think when tax time comes, I'll probably end up just buying a new engine for it anyway. One of those ones that I've put up on my page there. because it can't blow any more smoke than what it already fucking does, hey. Everything's just got to be difficult. Yes, I know the proper way to do it is pull the piston and other part, but when I got a price for the rebuild kit for these, they were up around $900, and that was 3 years ago. So they'd be even dearer now. Whole new motor was, I think it was 1560 Australian. Went out, inquired about getting the motor rebuilt. I couldn't justify that. You know, it's almost, well, what is it? Cost me $4 grand, so $1,600 for an engine on a mower that was only 2 years old at the time. Well, that's feeling better already. Yeah, I just couldn't justify it. And that was sort of at the arse end of COVID too, so, you know, trying to get any parts at that point was just next to impossible. So, this is just going to have to do, I think. I'll give it a good wipe out and blow out and shit before. Now I've done this before with an old, it was a 202 red motor out of a Kingswood. It's fairly worn cylinder bores, well, they were worse than this. I remember mate bought it out near Warrener or somewhere. Been sitting out in a paddock for years and years. So we dragged the fucking thing home and it was seized. Soaked it with 50-50 acetone and ATF fluid. So that got it moving, but we had like valve sticking on that, so we pulled the head off it and there was a few scores in the ball. So we just did the same thing, just each cylinder you put it on bottom, and then we had some plasticine or blue tack will do. You just put it around the bottom and top of the piston just to seal it, so no fines go in. And we just did it that way, just tied the balls up a bit, and that worked. I can't feel any piston movement, so all you armchair mechanics, yes I know this isn't the right way to do it, but I can't justify spending, yeah, $900, probably $1,000 now for a rebuild kit and then the machining for it, you know. It's something that I'll hopefully get rid of next year. Got me phone off the tripod. Yeah, where do I put that torch? I've lost a little torch, but it's a bit better, like it's not as polished. You can't even feel that now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you can really see, but you see where they've stopped the crosshatch and how polished that bore is, I don't. Yeah. Just give another quick little hit. Like, I haven't got the crosshatching exactly at 45, but I really don't give a shit. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I don't think that score has anything to do with the oil usage myself. Like, it's not, like, you can't even feel it. You could barely feel it, and only right up the top here before I gave a quick hone. So no, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Yeah, I haven't got the hatching at 45 or whatever, you know. But I don't really give a shit. Pretty over this machine. So I'll give that top of that piston a clean and not on there, it's all just built up bloody carbon anyway, so. I actually had a guy message me on YouTube the other day having the same issues with oil consumption and stuff, so he's sort of in the same boat I'm in. It's the exact same mower, exact same issues. And you just can't buy anything that lasts longer than bloody 10 minutes anymore. It's not like I've abused this thing with no service and stuff. Like, I work it hard, but I've always serviced it, like, you know, because this, for me on this property, this is an investment. It makes my life a lot easier, because otherwise I'd be spending 3 days, 4 days whippersnipping, line trim and everything, you know. So that's why I went and bought this, and yeah, it's just been nothing but a bloody headache from the very start, sadly. And I bought it because of the Cub Cadet name. Like, I remember friends' parents used to have them on their properties and stuff, but I just don't recommend them to anybody anymore. Sorry, I was just trying to get a gasket scraper. I'll make a start on this gasket anyway. Once I get all that clean, I'll start and have a look at that cylinder head, see what's going on with it. I got most of it cleaned up. See, it's just stained a bit, but definitely I need to invest in some new scraper blades, because I don't know if you can see, but it's just little scratches everywhere, so it's obviously got a little nick in there somewhere. And I just like to use like a Scotch-Brite, just a gentle one, just to tidy the rest of the head up. It doesn't have to be, you know, one that strips fucking glue off paint, but just this is just a old dishwasher one. Put a bit of, I like CRC 556. I don't know what it is with WD-40, but I don't know if they've changed the formula or something. It just doesn't seem to work as good as what it used to. So just use a bit of 556 for lubrication. And you just, you know, go along and try and get it nice and clean. You can actually hear the, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but you can hear the machine marks when you're scrubbing on it, so I'm a bit chesty this morning. It's been real windy here where we are, and being that it's our dry season, it's just whipping dust up, and then after mowing as well yesterday, it just takes me a couple of days to clear my chest out. Not that anybody wants to know about that, but yeah. That downstairs toilet's working fine. I don't know if anybody watched those videos, but I probably should have done it, you know, while I was filmed while I was doing it. I just didn't think anybody would want to watch poo going everywhere or gunny paper, so but it's working fine now, which is good. Not one of those plumbers that I rang have gotten back to me at all. The only one I managed to get hold of, they weren't taking any new clients until it was mid-July. You know, it's just, I don't know why, you know, it's, you just, these days you literally need to buy the tools and learn how to do it. I mean, that's a good thing anyway, but you know, something as simple as just a plumber running a snake up a drain. You know, it's literally an hour's work. Because I even spoke to him, I said, look, I've got it dug up. You just need to come and run the jetter through it. But they didn't want to know about it, you know. I get like a lot of these companies work at the refineries around here and out at the mines and stuff. That's, you know, because they can charge them like a wounded bull. Good on them, you know, it's capitalism in effect there. But when a household can't get shit fixed because they're out making all this money on some bigger companies, it's not real fair, you know. It is what it is, but it's just annoying. You know, it's the same with this. Like, if I was to take it to the mower shop, I think they were $123 an hour last time I had them do any work on this. You know, and they took 3 hours to, what did they look at? The seat switch, the cylinder, and the deck, because the deck cracked and was supposed to be under warranty, and warranty wasn't worth shit. It's like $123 an hour, 3 hours work, for a $30 switch, and to have a look at the cylinder head, you know. Look at the engine while it's smoking anyway, but, you know, it's just, you're just better off buying the tools, watching a few videos, reading up, and doing it yourself. And everybody's like, oh, you know, why aren't you supporting small business? Well, you know, maybe if they fucking gave us a break and, you know, when we rang him for something, get back to us at least. Say no, or yes, or whatever. And never fucking do. I mean, when they do get you back to you, it's some exorbitant bloody price anyway, so you're just better off doing it yourself. Oh, fuck yeah. Shit stuck there. Probably should have done this from the start. Probably get a little pan under it, but whatever. So that's about all I can do for that. Well, with that for now. Like I said, I'm waiting on the cylinder head gasket. It just looks like an O-ring, so hopefully I can get away with just put some. Actually, it looks warped too. Putting some grease, O-ring grease on that and sanding it. Like if you're after a full-blown how-to video on rebuilding the motor, I'm not doing that with this. Just trying to limp it through till either tax time or get a. They're all Chinese, the Techimesh based Chinese shit. Because it's only about $800, so maybe 850 posted, and it doesn't have all that EFI module, the computerized carb. It's just a straight carby, and I'll have to put I think it's a John Deere throttle lever and cable, and it does does away with all that computerized shit. So I'll probably look at doing that when I get my tax return, and that way a lot of this wiring can be simplified, because it's only 4 wires that come out of this engine on the Jono and Jono website. Just like your charging, charging circuit lights, and then positive and negative. So. And the good thing is, I'm pretty sure, looking at that motor, 99% of all these parts will swap over for, coil or whatever I need kind of thing. But yeah, I do want a little tractor. Just, a little tractor would make life so much more easier, because I've got to we'll have to look at doing the leach field for the septic at some point. It's just stuff like that, little landscaping jobs I can do without having to hire anything. So that's pretty much it for that. I'll jump up and have a look at this cylinder head, and I'm hoping it's just a valve stem seal, because I can't see that little tiny scratch allowing that much oil to go through. Like, if it was a deep gouge, yeah, I can understand, but it wasn't. So we'll jump up and have a look at that. So this is the intake side. As you can see, it doesn't want to focus. So it looks nice and clean. There's a little bit of carbon around the bottom of the top of the valve head. Not easy, can't really see it, but when you turn around, look at the exhaust port, it's just caked. Just caked in oil, burnt oil. So I'm starting to wonder if it's actually the exhaust valve stem seal. Because, like, we've got blue tinged smoke on start up and running. I mean, that's signs on both intake and exhaust valve stem seal issues, but I think what I'll do is I'll give it a good clean up, and I'm gonna have to. I don't think I've got a valve stem a valve spring compressor anymore. So I'll have to see if I've got one. If not, I'm gonna have to buy one. But there's something I noticed just here on the rocker arm. It doesn't want to focus, but
It's like it's cracked. You can really see that. See how it's got like a crack and it's worn funny. So I don't know. I don't think it's cracked all the way through, but I'm gonna have to pull it all apart, give it a clean up, see what's what. So yeah, I'll probably do a part 2 in the next few days. I'm gonna douse this in WD-40 degreaser for a while and see if I can track down a spring compressor. So again, thanks for watching. I'm not the best video taker, but you know, hopefully somebody enjoys it and gets something out of it. So yeah, I will catch you later.